Hey everybody, my name is DJV, founder and Fed owner of Decibel Amp for Wrestling since 2K22, founder of the SL Wrestling Archival and History Cataloging Project Fight Forever, and curious about where we've been and excited about where we're going. Welcome to this episode of RingMasters. With me today is another very honorable person, if I should say so myself. If you'll forgive the pun, 2 times in a row. Who do I have with me today?
I'm Kat Monroe, and I'm the owner of Honor Pro Wrestling.
Kat, it's great to have you on the show. We had Hammer last week, and he was a blast to talk with, and I'm sure that you will be just as fun to talk with, if not even more so. Because I think you're actually the Fed owner, as opposed to being higher up, right?
Absolutely. Actually, myself and Kieran Darkwatch are the owners of Honor, and Hammer is our VP.
Heck yeah. How did you get into SL Wrestling?
So, back in 2010, so we're talking a while ago.
In the far off year of 2010.
Yes, right. It's kind of a funny story, though. I was dating this guy who was a wrestler, and they were looking for bombshells. And I'm like, what's a bombshell? I had no idea what I was talking about or doing. And I said, I want to do it. So I started training at a very old Fed, PRWW, which has been long gone for many, many years at this point. But that was my start, was at PRWW. I got trained there. I've been bouncing around from DCWF, VAW before it became Premier, NMW, and VWE, and now at Honor. So I've been all around.
Heck yeah. What did you do on Second Life before SL Wrestling came into your life?
I think it's what most people do when they begin SL, that's hosting and DJ, as you know. So I think a lot of people do that when they join. And actually, I owned a club at 1.2.
Oh, heck yeah. That sounds awesome. What was kind of being a club owner like back in those days?
A lot different than it is now. It was more, it felt more fun in a lot of ways, like more engagement now. Now it seems everybody's in their DMs talking. And like then, people actually talked in local. Like we were like a big family back then.
Oh yeah. Like a more camaraderie kind of atmosphere.
Yes, and actually the club was a strip club.
Well, that makes sense. Oh, that would be a pretty tight knit community right there. Yeah.
Yes.
How would you describe yourself as a Fed owner?
I think I'm pretty reasonable, and I'm more of the quiet and patient kind. I let Hammer do a lot of the talking because, secret about me, I'm very shy. So, but like I have the ideas and stuff, and usually he'll take whatever I have and roll with it and make it even better. So, you know, but I feel like I'm fair, and I give people second chances when I can, and I believe in my staff to do the best they can do.
Awesome. What do you think your greatest strengths and weaknesses are being a wrestling Fed owner?
Obviously, my weakness will be the fact of my being shy, because that can kind of make things harder when I have to have those conversations, if I have to, the confrontational ones. I hate confrontation, and I'd rather just everybody get along. Because, I grew up thinking, everybody should be my friend, but obviously that's not going to happen, especially in SL. I think I can talk today. I'm so sorry. My more organization and just following through with things to make sure we are the best we can be. And wrestling is probably a strength as well, since I can wrestle, and I do wrestle for the Fed as well.
Oh yeah. And I can definitely sympathize with you on being shy. That's something that I tend to wrestle with myself in terms of just being. Yeah, it can be a big weight when trying to make heavy decisions in a Fed owner capacity, for sure.
Right. I try to be fair. Like, if there's a hard decision to make, I do make it. It's just I'd like to think of the good and see if we're making the right decision before we just jump. You know, so that way we're not regretting a decision we make down the
Exactly, exactly.
road.
What would you say your biggest passions are about SL Wrestling?
I love the storytelling. And when Honor started, one of my biggest things was I saw how the furry side as well as the human side both had some amazing talents. And I really, really, that was why Honor came about, was because I wanted to see it together because there's no reason both sides could not become a community of their own and actually have a partnership and wrestle together to make even a better show than what we have, which is human or versus furry.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. What would you say have been some of the most memorable moments to you in your Fed's history?
Oh my, there's so many. Um, our first in game, which was our first, that's our big show of the year. It's in July. We had buildings fall on people. That was memorable because making that happen was not an easy feat. So I'm very lucky I have such good builders on the team. I think the other one would be, oh geez, so many. I'm trying to think here. Um, I think I'm gonna stop there because there's just too many to name, honestly.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, what does the calendar hold for your Fed? Are there any big events coming up that you're excited about?
Well, we have Big Poppy's Big Boat Show coming up here actually on Tuesday.
Hmm.
This was a show we started last year. The show is actually on a boat. The so like the whole atmosphere is on like a yacht. So and Big Poppy, if you know the character, is a little conceited and he's kind of a rapper and he's kind of a jerk. So, you know, it's supposed to be like his boat. But this is
Yeah.
the second one. So it may be even bigger and better from the last one.
Cool, cool. Where can people find information about your Fed and your wrestlers?
We have Facebook, Twitter. Um, we're working on getting Printbeat up and running as well. And we also do a lot of stuff in world as well with all the different groups. So I always can drop that information. I don't know how you'll do it here, but like type it out for you if you need to, or however.
Cool. I'm sure we could probably have one of our technicians get the information and probably put it in the video description for later.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome, awesome. What is your Fed's approach to booking?
Um, that's all Hammer.
Uh,
That is his baby, and I trust him 100%. With his booking team to book our shows. They
Heck
try
yeah.
to get the booking out pretty quickly, and they work as a team and meet weekly to talk about ideas to
He
get
was
everything run out through the entire year. So
Oh yeah. He was mentioning that in last week's episode. There we go. And yeah, he was clearly like very very passionate about it. He was awesome to talk to on that front. And yeah, he seems like he's got a great head on his shoulders for it.
oh, absolutely. He's very, very creative. Has been. Met him honestly at WWE when he started out as a wrestler. So I trust him because I've known him for many years at this point. So what, 4 years or something like that, 3 or 4,
Oh
maybe a little
dang, yeah.
longer. I've known him a while, so it's SL. 4 years is a long time. So
Oh, absolutely. Things can change so dramatically in the span of like 4 or 5 years that it can be a completely different scene than what it was back then for
yes,
practically anything. It's one of SL's biggest strengths and weaknesses from my point of view.
absolutely. The
How do you?
turnover rate is hard,
Oh
So
yeah, oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. How do you foster a positive and productive work environment for your team and wrestlers?
We try to have not only just booking and wrestling, and we also try to have special events for just our staff, as well for the community, as well for our shows like our party after shows and things like that. Like we might have a game night for just staff, we might have a movie night. We actually have a wrestling stream about weekly in our chats, so that everybody can watch wrestling together. So there's a lot of behind the scenes staff building, as well as the parties and stuff with our fans as well.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do you have any specific challenges that you face when running your Fed?
Um, I think the biggest challenge is schedules, to make sure we're following everybody's schedule, and make sure we get everybody booked and not just looking at storylines alone. Because that's probably the biggest challenge is if someone can't make a show, who do we got to replace them or change things up to make it more interesting? So I think that's a challenge for every Fed is, when things have to change last minute,
Oh yeah,
So
oh yeah.
those backup plans have to always be in place.
Do you have any tips for new Fed owners on building and maintaining a fan base and roster?
I think the biggest is social media for building that fan base, and obviously your roster too. Like go to other shows and see what you like from a Fed, because there's so like we're willing to share ideas to a point. Obviously, we have our own little keys and tricks for each Fed, but we're willing to share the basics to help someone out. Being organized is also another really good point. Make sure you have everything in place before you start looking for a roster. Like, have your ideas and your philosophy ready. Because if you have a roster but don't have a plan for like what kind of Fed you want to be, like Honor originally was supposed to be kind of like a Ring of Honor type of show.
Yeah.
If you Our first building was a warehouse. Um, a very decrepit warehouse. It was really bad. Like people joked about getting rust on them or getting nails in their feet and stuff. So if you look at it from this to our Lions Den now, big difference. We obviously evolved, which that's a big thing with new vets is you have to be willing to evolve. Because sometimes if you don't, you're stuck in the same ways and you're not get when to build up. So
Exactly, exactly. How do you handle conflicts such as trolls and griefer attacks and ensure a safe environment?
we have a security. So if there is a troll on the sim or in our Twitters or anything like that, they're immediately in there ejecting, and then we get things figured out for later if we have to. But usually they're gone within 2 seconds.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
My security is very quick. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. You mentioned social media before. Is what else do you consider to be keys to successful marketing and promotion for your wrestling Fed?
I think having road shows is another way to have success because you're showing your show to other people besides just your fans. You get new fans that way. You get wrestlers that way. I can't imagine how many times every super show or like at a road show we always end up with a new application because people are like, "Oh, I didn't know there was wrestling in SL." I'm sure you've heard that a lot too, DJV, because no one did. I didn't even know about wrestling until I got involved. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I can remember way back in the day, it was something that I didn't even think about, and then just like kind of stumbling upon it, and been just because I knew that racing was a thing, and
hmm
like basketball, football, soccer, cheerleading is like one of the bigger ones back then too, and it was just like it's very wrestling, they're like WWE stuff,
right.
and sure enough, yeah, there's a whole community for it I never knew about, and yeah, watching it a little bit later, get the stars in my eyes, and five
Oh,
years later, here
absolutely.
we
Yeah,
are. Yeah,
exactly. So,
yeah.
like, just to the road shows definitely help with that, and having the staff like when they are in a show, even promoting themselves with mass TPs or like some people do invites to all their people on their friends list. That helps too. Because not everybody in their friends list even knows about wrestling,
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, and they like it's kind of a situation where if, for like those mass TPs and stuff, it's something where it can be a little tricky because I know that some people tend to be a little bit annoyed by them, but at the end of the day, you can still close them pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like usually you get at least one person to show, even, and like one per show times, 2 shows a week
Yeah.
times, how many shows a year. That's a lot of new people,
Oh, exactly.
So
Yeah.
and that's just like one staff member. Imagine it was everybody who did it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, what is the vision for the future of your Fed?
I think right now we're trying to see because we keep adding more staff. We just added a new show actually on Wednesdays. It's called Uwu. They're gonna appreciate it said that. It actually is being ran by a couple of our staff members. They're running it completely without us doing anything or putting our hands in it. It's all of them. We'll support them if they need it, obviously, but overall, it's unrivaled wrestling. Overall, we will step back and let them run it. So it's kind of like NXT. So we're adding that as well as having our super shows and building up to get more, shows even on road shows. I think our focus right now is we would like to have more road shows out and about, get out there more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Heck yeah. What legacy do you hope to leave as the owner of your Fed when everything is said and done?
I think the same thing as the goal for honor, honestly, is that, that we were open to more than one type of wrestler. We were willing to give people chances and be the person who is fair and um, basically making the hybrid fed a name for itself compared to not just being human versus furry. So, because hybrid feds were very hard to come by when I started out. I'd love for when we finish that we were I would love we were the top hybrid fed when we left. So
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Last question. Do you have any predictions or hopes for the future of SL Wrestling?
my biggest hope is that everybody gets along. I know, big goal. I would love to see the community start working with each other like we are today, and start communicating with each other and actually getting along and making events that are more feds in one event. We kind of do that with our in-game events, our big shows. We'll invite people to come in for a road show, but I would love if it was like more than just one show a year.
Awesome. Awesome. That is definitely an admirable goal for sure.
Yes, big goal. I know. I think it's all of us who are like really here for the community. Like we all are wishing for that same goal of getting along and being partners.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Kat, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and sit down in our chair there. uh, uh, if there is there any pluggables that you'd like to plug before we end the festivities?
I think the biggest is Tuesdays are Big Poppy show. Come and see whatever Big Poppy has got planned for us because it's probably going to be big. Knowing him.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'd like to thank Premiere as usual, for allowing us to put this on. I'm DJ V. You can find me over at Decibel and Pro Wrestling every other Thursday at 6 p.m. SLT. And yeah, thanks for listening and watching, and we hope to see you next time. Until then, have a great night.